Labor and Social Development Minister, His Excellency Jamil bin Mohammed Ali Hameidan, has paid a visit to the National Bank of Bahrain elderly home. He exchanged congratulations and greetings, marking the advent of Eid al-Fitr. Present were NBB Chief Executive Officer Jean-Christophe Durand, members of the National Committee for the Elderly and Ministries officials, as well as Al-Hikmah Elderly Society Chairman Saeed Al-Sammak. He congratulated the elderly on the advent of Eid al-Fitr and presented them with gifts, getting reassured about their living conditions and healthcare services. He underlined Bahrain's strides in caring for the elderly under the national strategy to ensure all required social, medical, health, psychological, legal, and entertainment services for this category.
In a run-up to World Environment Day 2019, the Embassy of India, in partnership with the United Nations Environment Programme, organized a global cycling event in line with the theme of this year's World Environment Day, Beat Air Pollution. It's also a part of the celebrations of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. the advocate of sustainable development and protection and preservation of environment for future generations.
We are totally committed to preservation and protection of environment, and it was in that context that we thought we should continue that tradition of committing ourselves, of taking a resolve to continue to work for the protection and preservation of environment. This year is particularly important for India as we celebrate 150 years of the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who was a staunch advocate of preservation and protection of environment for the future generation. It is in this context that we are delighted that we are able to continue that tradition of undertaking activities for the protection and preservation of environment. Cycling was the first activity organized, which is in line with the theme this year, Beat Air Pollution.
The cycling event was flagged off from the iconic Bahrain Fort and ended at the Indian Embassy in Sif, covering the distance of 8.5 kilometers and was attended by more than 250 people, including various Indian and Bahraini cycling associations, cycling enthusiasts of various nationalities, school children, and members of the Indian community.
Today marks a very important day for us because it is actually the first event in the region that kicks off our new campaign that is titled Beat Air Pollution. Last year our campaign was Beat Plastic Pollution, and actually the UN Environment Day was hosted by India, and we worked a lot with the Indian Embassy here in Bahrain and the Indian community to work towards outreach programs, outreach events, educational elements to teach people and make it clear to them what it means to drop off from single-use plastic. Now this year our flavor is more towards air pollution, and today marks in its principle an explanation of different means, for example like cycling, to reduce the emissions, which will better the air quality.
I'm the first woman to finish the cycling marathon organized by Indian Embassy of Bahrain. Very excited today, and it was a brilliant experience because all the different communities of India have come together, and it's an excellent utilization of Indian Embassy new venue. So we are very happy about it.
The event was followed by an iftar reception for the participants at the embassy's complex. Reporting for Bahrain International, I'm Heba Abdul Ghaffar.
A cycling marathon was organized by the Indian Embassy in Bahrain and the United Nations Environment Program in celebration of two things: the World Environment Day and 150 years of Mahatma Gandhi. Reporting for Bahrain International, I'm Heba Abdul Ghaffar.
The importance of volunteering stems from the fact that it is a factor that enhances the individual's belonging to his society and country, and an effective means to instill the spirit of giving and doing good in any field and anywhere. Hamid Al-Saad, accompanied by a group of young people aiming to consolidate the concept of saving excess food and cultivating a culture of consumption in society through rationalization of consumption and away from excess, especially in the month of Ramadan, by encouraging them to volunteer with the Bahrain Society for the Conserving Bounties.
I started the Nourisher organization. It's mainly for doing events regarding to health and wellness. I started this initiative with Food Bank so that I gather volunteers to come package the food and deliver to the families that need it. We make sure that the food is up to a standard, not touched. We mainly focus on buffets because most of it are excess food and not leftovers, so that the families that even eat the food make sure that it's the same food or the quality of the food is the same as we personally eat it as well.
The initiative has achieved a remarkable youth turnout of different ages and disciplines, giving them a rich experience that has contributed to enhancing the spirit of giving and volunteering. It has also contributed to strengthening their relations with others and the needs of those in need, as well as improving their daily habits positively.
We have collaborated with the food bank, so we could collect the wastage food from the hotels and then we can distribute it to the other needy people, because there are a lot of people, those who sleep without having a dinner. So thanks to the Hamad and Nourisher and food bank, with the help of our volunteer, we go to the hotels and collect the foods, and then Hamad divided us in a team so we could manage the hotel individually, and then we can make sure that we collect all the foods and we can give it to the needy people.
It is worth mentioning that the Conserving Bounties in Bahrain consist of an association that collects and gathers excess food from hotels, restaurants, and special occasions according to the standards and health standards adopted in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and then redistribute them to needy families and housing expatriate workers, as well as individuals in need, in order to enhance the culture of preserving grace and creating a conscious generation and motivating all segments of society to move towards environmental sustainability.